Ooh-wee. That is a hot one. It's only 88 degrees right now. Alright, so got the cart out of the old battle wagon. That's like half the battle. It's still kind of early. I think it's like 2:15 right now. And it is stifling, I think is a good word to use. It's a big word. Vocabulary. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait till about 5 o'clock. I think it'll start cooling off. I mean, by cooling off, it'll be back down around maybe 88, I think. So according to my calculations here, let's see. Delta T equals fire suit over relative humidity. Let's see, that's a billion plus 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Carry the 69 remainder. It's going to be hot. I think this oven will be preheated to about 350 degrees with the fire suit on. It's going to be hot. Here's what I want to do. I'll bring out the fire extinguisher. I got the air tank refilled, and I'll bring out the propane tankulator. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn the fuel on before I forget, like I did last time. I gotta do a quick systems check. I might as well do that right now. Let's see. Flip on main power. To start labeling some of these switches. That's fuel pump, oil pump, and we've got 45 psi. I don't know if you guys can see 45 psi and holding. Turn that off, and let's see if we got ignitionators, sparkulators. Oh, yep, they're firing off in there. That's good. And let's see if we've got afterburner fuel pump. Yep. Yep, it works. I think we are set. What up, big dog?
What up?
I think we're gonna light this candle here in a little bit.
Yeah. How long is a little bit?
About 5 o'clock.
About 5 o'clock?
Because gotta get the fire suit on, I gotta bring the tanks and everything out, and according to my calculations, when I put the fire suit on, this oven will be preheated to about 350 degrees.
God damn.
Be a little hot in that fire suit, so.
Yeah.
Just did a quick systems check, make sure everything's running. Alright, well, I'm all suited up about as much as I'm going to get in this heat. I got the propane hooked up, I got the air hooked up. My neighbors are out here spectating, waiting for me to blow myself up. My cameraman is missing, but I'll tell you what, I'll set you guys down right about here. That should give you guys a pretty good vantage point. Should be alright right there. I'm going to let this roll for a bit. First things first. Pull, aim, squeeze, sweep.
Will do.
Aim it at me, more importantly.
Will do.
That's about 99% metal. I don't want to smell like burnt bacon wrapped in a Kevlar suit.
You got it.
So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to test the valves, make sure I got propane flowing, all that stuff. But I'll crank open the air, spool it up, turn on the propane, turn on the ignition. She should fire right up, bring it up to idle, and then I'm going to fire up that the diesel pump. RPM should pick up, and then I'm going to see if I can wean it onto the diesel. I got her loaded back up. Just kind of recap on some stuff here. During the run, it fired up as it should, came up to RPM perfect. It's amazing what a full tank of air will do. Let's get a good backdrop here. Oil pressure was good. A little while into the run, I saw oil pressure start to dwindle. All I had to do is just kind of reach over, bump up the pressure a little bit. What's happening is as the oil heats up as it's running, and as it's cycling through the bearings in the turbine, or turbo rather, the oil tends to get a lot of air bubbles in it. There we go. And as you get more and more of those air bubbles in it, it's harder for the pump to keep up with it, to maintain pressure. So periodically, I just have to keep an eye on that oil pressure, bump it up. Second thing, you'll see in the video, I was having some issues getting the afterburner to light off. That was at a high, I would say that was a high RPM. That was, I got her up to about 28, almost 30 PSI at one point. I tried to light off the afterburner. It didn't really work, and I guess I should kind of expect that. You're essentially, in layman's terms, you're trying to light a fire in 600-mile-an-hour winds. Actually, I'll put it in this perspective. The exhaust velocity coming through the afterburner is actually supersonic, from what I understand. It doesn't make like a shock wave or anything like that, and the reason being is because of the temperature. As you increase the temperature, you increase, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you increase the speed at which you would be at subsonic speeds, something, I don't know. And after a while, like I did a few tests with the afterburner, I had to bring the RPMs down, and I think I dropped her down. Let's see if my photographic memory serves me correct. Boost gauge. I'd say I had to bring her down. I couldn't tell you what RPM I was at. I don't have a means of measuring the RPM. What I do is I actually just monitor the pressure inside the combustion chamber to keep my speed, to keep from overspeeding the turbo itself. Kind of simplify things. These turbos, the compressor usually has what you call like a compressor map, and the compressor map will tell you about how much airflow is going through the compressor and how much mass flow is going through that compressor at certain RPMs. I use it in kind of like the reverse perspective here. I know that according to the compressor map for like this turbo, if I'm running about 30 PSI in the combustion chamber, in a perfect scenario, if there's no leaks or anything like that, if I have 30 PSI in the combustion chamber, that should put my RPMs of the turbo somewhere in the ballpark of like 80,000 RPM. And that's important, that's critical, because anything really higher than that, you run into possibly the turbine itself or the compressor wheel actually disintegrating. There's so much centrifugal force imposed on the compressor wheel and the turbine wheel. Anything higher than like 80,000 RPM on that thing, it could potentially just grenade, for lack of better words. I think as Elon put it one time, rapid unscheduled disassembly. So try to try to keep the pressure right around like 30 psi. That puts me at 80,000 RPM, and that'll work until I can figure out a better means of like maybe using like there's a way of using optics to measure the RPM based on like a little paint mark on the compressor wheel, so to speak. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I noticed that, going back to what I was saying earlier, I noticed that like the higher RPMs, I could not get the afterburner to ignite, and I think it's just the exhaust velocity coming through there is just so rapid. It doesn't give time for the ignition process to even start. But as I brought the RPMs down, I was able to get the afterburner to ignite. Maybe there's a way to redesign a new afterburner to overcome that. But until then, what I have to do is light the afterburner at like a lower RPM, and then just bring the RPMs up and just keep feeding it, the afterburner, just keep feeding that fuel to keep up with it. That's the only logical way that I can think of this right now. I do have a fuel leak. Again, shocker. It seems like every time I run this combustion, I've always had issues with this combustion chamber. It just keeps leaking. And you figure 30 psi. That's a lot of pressure inside, you know, a vessel. But I did notice, like, see if I can point it out here. You guys see this? So this is where my fuel is coming in, and where it's coming in through this end cap, this end plate. I noticed there was a lot of smoke. In fact, I can see where it's leaking right in there. Not a terrible issue, but that's where all that smoke, you'll see in the video, all that smoke coming from, that's what it is, just that fuel vapor. Other than that, I really don't think I saw any other leaks. I'll have to run through the video again. I haven't I barely, you know, watched the video. I'll have to go through and see. I like to use the videos as evidence, see what else is going on. But I was able to confirm all the gauges still work. I still don't have EGT on the turbine inlet side. I have turbine outlet temperature, you know, that I was monitoring, and that actually never really got above like 600 degrees Celsius. You know, I'm still in the green. But I did notice, you know, later in the video, I was trying to pop the afterburner and the pump completely quit on me. So I'll dig into that and see what's going on with that. If anything, I might be looking for like a bigger pump. You know, we'll just throw in the sauce. The more sauce, the better, right? Like Taco Bell. Anyway, I do need to take the battery out. We'll get a fresh battery. On that note, my neighbor, actually, I've had two neighbors now. They're really big into drones, and they've highly suggested that I do away with that big, heavy lead-acid battery. The battery I'm currently running is a 12-volt, 35 amp hour lead-acid battery. My best guess is it's probably good for like a lawnmower or a motorcycle. These guys are telling me that these LiPo batteries, I can put out way more power, and the batteries are way smaller, much more compact, which is perfect because I could find a better location for the batteries, and I could actually put a fuel tank back, you know, behind the switches, where the original fuel tank for this go-kart used to be, and I could actually do away with the saddle tanks. Like, don't get me wrong, the saddle tanks look cool as hell, but if I can do away with the there, that, and down, do away with the saddle tanks, it would lighten it up a little bit, you know, she's still a heavy prom date. Nonetheless, I still have my phone. But ideally, if I want to drive this thing, make her as light as possible. So, other than that, not a bad run. A lot of power. You can see in the video, she didn't quite want to hop the wheel chock, but she wanted to go. I'm hoping I'll figure out this afterburner pump issue. I'd like to relocate the boost gauge, swap spots with it so it's easier to see. I might do away with the EGT on the inlet side. It's not reading anything. If anything, I still have turbine outlet temperature, which should be pretty close to the same temperature. Do away with that gauge, and I'd actually like to replace that with a fuel pressure gauge. That might help me a lot. Anyway, hope you guys liked the video. Always remember, and please like and subscribe to these weird videos that I'm always posting. The idea is, if I can get enough subscribers and enough viewers and likes and absurd comments, your boy Mike can hopefully monetize on some YouTube and free up some capital. I could buy a much larger turbo and build you something you've never seen before. I could buy, hopefully someday I could actually buy like a legit turbine engine, and I'd really poop my pants. Anyway.